Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. I have a nice clean table. I put away a lot of things and I put new paper towels down. My table's all clean. We're back with June. She had all of her enhancements in one go and then I sealed her. And it turned out really well. You can still see her creases on her hands there. You can see them on her feet, the bottom of her feet. So far, so good. She's ready for layers now. So we're ready to put some 05 on her. And we're going to do that right now. I'm going to get out a few little sponges here to dab around on her. And I'm going to mix my paint. Get me a brush. And we are going to get to work on this baby. I ordered me a heat gun so that when I want to stack layers on my doll, I can get them a little bit drier, because I'm not sure that the layers are doing any good when you stack them. They don't seem to be any darker on the doll than one layer would be all by itself. So I don't know. I might just be doing myself a disservice by stacking layers, because if you don't get the doll dry enough in between the layers, the second layer is just removing the first layer. At the same time it's putting a layer on, it's removing a layer. So it's the same as having just one layer, but you did it in 2 steps, which isn't fun at all. We're trying, when we stack layers, we're trying to do it quicker, or we're trying to do it easier with less bakes and things like that. But if it's not doing anything, then there's no need to do it. So here I go messing my table up already. Laying my sponge right down on the table. I'll get me a saucer or something to lay my sponge on. That way I won't mess up the table. Let's see if I have an old saucer laying around somewhere. I don't have very many saucers because, well, I don't use teacups or any kind of coffee cups that come with saucers, but you know what I mean. One of them little tiny plates that comes in a set of dishes. Well, I got two very saturated sponges out instead of a clean one, a cleanish one. I have some cleaner ones in there, but I think I'm going to work on one coat at a time on June and see if I can tell any difference from when I was doing the 2 coats stacked. Or if I don't, I'm going to let her dry for a lot longer. I don't know which one I want to do yet, because I can't just sit here on camera twiddling my thumbs while she's getting dry. That's just not a good idea, I don't think. Oh. I mean, she looks pretty dry. She's still shiny. As long as it looks shiny like that, they're not really dry. And you shouldn't really put more paint on them when they're not dry. Her hands just look fabulous to me. I think she's going to be a beautiful baby if I don't flub her up some kind of way. Seems like I'll start out real good on my dolls, and then all of a sudden I'm just flubbing up on them. It's like the paint goes bad or something. Or my technique maybe is going bad. I don't know what it is, but it's okay if your paint gets a lot of paint on them, like your dolls get a lot of paint on them like that, because we're going to dab it off, the excess. That's why we dab them, because there's a lot of excess on the doll. And dabbing just takes off those puddly looking things and those rashy looking things and the unevenness. And well, this one's going to look a little uneven anyway because she's modeled, but she's lightly modeled, very lightly modeled. So you can barely see any modeling, if you can see it at all, on this doll. I did water down that, and when I say water, I really mean paint thinner. I think y'all have gotten that by now. I say water a lot. I say the wrong thing. I say cotton for the polyfill, and I sometimes say sand for the glass, because it just looks so much like sand to me. Makes you want to say sand. My mind goes to things that I'm more familiar with. And there's something between her toe, and I don't like it. What? There, it came out. Anyway, so I'm gonna sometimes say the wrong thing, but I usually try to correct myself, especially if I say sand, because I don't want people to think, oh, she uses sand, so it must be okay. It's not okay. It's, I mean, if you're making the doll for yourself, you can freaking put rags in it if you want to, you know? You can put pebbles, you can put anything you want to in it, because it's your doll. But when you're making dolls to sell, you need to do them right. And if you're going to put some alternate thing in it that isn't the norm, you need to disclose that, because people are funny about their dolls. Some people don't care. Some people care a huge amount. So, I don't know. You don't want to use sand. Might be tempting, but don't do it. If the doll was to get wet, well, I don't know, because if the doll got wet, you would think somebody would take it apart to dry it out. And even sand can get dry. But anyway, it's supposedly a risk of mold if you use sand. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know anybody that uses sand. So I couldn't speak on that. Can't speak on it at all. I just know that it's not a good idea. Like my mother said, a job worth doing is worth doing well. So you put all the right things in your doll, you're going to have a fabulous doll. But when I back to what I was talking about, you know, I think sometimes people understand that when you say water it down, you just mean you're going to water it down with paint thinner. And if you say cotton, they realize you mean polyfill. But if you say sand, they probably think you really mean sand. And so I always try to correct myself when I say sand, because I do not use sand. I really don't think it would hurt a doll per se, but you know, it's not the industry norm. And like I said, if you're making your own doll, put anything you want to in it. I think I told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. I met this lady online. I never met her in person. She was an elderly lady. And she had a Cheyenne doll. And she wanted her spruced up a little. She thought she was too pale. And she thought, you know, she wasn't done just exactly right. And she wanted somebody who knew, you know, how to make dolls to work on her a little bit and fix her up a little. And so I said, well, you're going to have to pay postage both ways, and I'll fix your doll. So she sent her to me, and the doll was made by a boy. And when she said boy, she meant teenage boy. A boy on an Indian reservation. And that doll was made literally as cheap as you could possibly make a doll. I mean, it had the most awful looking body. I think they made it themselves, and it was weighted with rice, and not even that much was in it. It was just enough rice to go in the hand and down into the foot, and that was it. And then they stuffed it with polyfill. But little known fact, if you don't put any weighting material, you cannot hardly get the polyfill to go around this corner here and get down in, and so there was nothing here, and it was stuffed here. It was just poorly done, and the paint job was just atrocious. And so I just painted over the top of the paint that it already had and gave it a little more blush and some more color and everything. Took out the rice, and it was minute rice at that. It wasn't even real grains of rice. You know, now if something was going to get wet and mess up, it would be rice. That swells. Oh, what a horrible thing to put in a doll. But anyway, I fixed it up. I gave her a new body. I penciled on some hair because I wasn't doing any rooted hair then. I was only doing penciled hair, and so, you know, I wanted to give it some hair because it was bald, and so I penciled her on some hair. Anyway, she loved the doll. She thought it was gorgeous when I got done with it, and she thanked me so kindly, and I was happy to help her. I mean, I donate dolls all the time to nursing homes. The least I can do is donate some time to help a lady, you know. I didn't charge her anything. But anyway, I'm gonna get a cleaner one now and try to sponge her around a little bit more because she looks a little too wet to me. Not her face, but her arms and legs. But I'm gonna do her face too. I have somebody, a visitor, coming to see me. In just a few minutes, he texted and said, I'm about to come over and visit you. I said, okay. So I need to be finished with this doll by the time he gets here. And, I mean, not finished with the doll, but finished with this stage, this color, and ready to put her in the oven when he gets here. And, I think I will be. I'm almost there now. And then I'll visit with him a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll put probably another layer of 05. I'm not sure. Her arms and legs look fabulous to me. I love her hands and feet. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Even if your sponge is a little bit dirty, if it's really dry, you can still get more off of the doll with it. I just like to use a clean one because I can tell that I'm getting something off, you know. I just have too many going here. This one's going in the garbage. And I'm going to tear one of these. This one, I think, to use for my new sponge to put it on with, because you can just tear this little top off. It needs to be raggy anyway. And you got a sponge. It doesn't hurt if it has a tiny bit of paint on it because you're going to put paint all over it anyway. But you can actually get too many of them. And you can cut this off with scissors. It's hard to tear because these are too dense. But you just get too many of them. And then you have like 15 sponges with one color on it. Anyway, that's her painted, and we're going to get her in and bake her. And then when we come back, we'll be ready for hopefully the next color. She looks almost dark enough, but we're going to judge that when we come back. And so please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.